All right, so saw me take out the pads and spread out the pistons. So now we need to put in the new pads. Lots of times, usually when I take out the pistons and pads, I usually clean up the area here. But these things actually have rubber boots on there, so it should be all right. I'm looking at them. I'm looking in here. I don't see too much dust. Lots of times I will go in here and I use Simple Green. I spray these where the pistons down is, where the pistons are. I spray with Simple Green and with a toothbrush. I clean it out, but I'm looking here. It actually doesn't look too bad at all. It looks pretty clean actually. Because the last time when I took out the original brake pads to rotate them, I cleaned it out. So it's actually still pretty clean from then. And I don't really drive this car in the rain, so it's actually pretty clean still. So I'm just gonna leave it as is. I'm not gonna Simple Green it. So I have my new pads now. My new pads with the little backing piece on here. You just saw the video where I did put this on. So basically slide it in, and both sides are the same. Slide it in like so. Sometimes if the fit's kind of tight, just kind of move your rotor out a little bit like so. Give yourself some space. And slide this in. Be mindful of the backing plate in the back so it doesn't move. So one thing I do is I set the pins in there, so that way nothing moves basically, like so. Both top and bottom, like so. So basically it stays aligned basically. Okay, so now I could do the outside. So that's the inside. So now I have to push the rotor in, because right now the rotor's kind of out, so it's not gonna fit. Because new brake pads are very thick, so I have to push the rotor in a little bit. And still a pretty tight fit right now. Let's see. Let me push it in a little bit more. Feel for the pistons here. Now the pistons are recessed, but again, it's a very tight fit because it's a new pads are thick, so they fit pretty tight. Okay, so you see my hand. I push the whole rotor instead of just one side. If you just push one side, it doesn't go all the way, and it kind of goes like that, So it doesn't push all the way. It doesn't, it doesn't go in all the way squarely. So you push the whole thing on all, as much of the size as you can. The whole thing will go in nice and squarely. So now it's the spring clip thingamabob. So I do one side first. So it goes in like so. So the pin will go underneath this tab here. Right, like so. Do one side first. I just leave this dangling here. I'm gonna get my little hammer here, a little punch, and the punch is actually big enough so that way it slips to the hole here when I took this off. But on this side, I'm putting it back in, so I need to punch it from the other side. And you don't need much, just really lightly, tap on it. How do I know it's all the way in? By looking at the pin coming out on this side. It should come out about maybe a millimeter or so. Again, I'm doing it pretty lightly. I don't need to hit it hard. So that's pretty much it right there. So the pin's not gonna move now. It's just freely wiggling like so. But the end of the pin has that little barrel. It's this little barrel right here. It's a barrel right here. So this is what kind of, once it goes in, this is what snaps in, and that's what holds it there. But also the tension on the spring here will also hold it in place as well. So now for the other side, the bottom side, oops. So the bottom side, you need to push this in like so. Let's see. Okay, so now it's pretty much, because what I did there was I just did it by hand, by finger only. I want to make sure that the end of the tip of the pin goes into the hole. It goes into the hole. If it's not in the hole and it's not it's not lined properly, and let's say you're like this and you're gonna hit it in, you're gonna damage your caliper. So you make sure that that pin end goes into the hole. That way, when you do hit it with the punch, it just slides right in. So same thing with the this side, just slightly with your hammer, little taps, just really light taps, light taps, and it should go in. Okay, it's just about there. Okay, I'm there. So it's protruding about maybe a millimeter or half a millimeter or something like that. That's it. I'm done. And that's how you replace your brake pads. Now I already did the other side. This side's done, so both sides done. Just put my wheel back on and take it for a little test ride. And I didn't change the brake fluid or nothing yet like that. I didn't even open up the brake fluid line here. So the brake fluid is still pretty much normal. It's probably because I pushed the pistons out, so the brake fluid level on your reservoir will actually rise. So it's probably at the full mark, or probably a little bit beyond the full mark. Let's look at it real fast. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Okay, it's not quite at the. Oh yeah, it is at past the full mark actually. So you see the air bubble up on this side, so that means it passed the air bubble. But since the pistons are actually all the way out, it's not clamped in yet. Once I do a little quick test ride, the pistons will squeeze in a little bit, and this will go down. It'll probably reach the full mark again. I'm probably gonna. It's middle of winter right now. So, it's what, second week of January, so I'm not gonna bleed the brakes yet. Normally when I do brake pads, I also bleed the brakes, but usually on a car I usually bleed the brakes every 3 years, or whenever I do the brake pads. But this car, since it's a sport car and I drive pretty hard on it, I basically bleed this thing pretty much every year. And when I bleed brakes that often, I always do it after winter, so basically after the raining season. So I won't bleed this out again until probably the end of May. As the rain stops here. So I'm gonna save it till then. And if I look at the fluid here, it still looks new. It's not all dark and everything. It still looks new because again, it's only like a year old, right? Well, actually maybe a little bit less than a year old. So it's fine. Okay, and that's it. Thanks for watching.